Britain stands today at a defining moment, a moment that, in the words of Prime Minister Keir Starmer, will determine the nation's future direction. In a solemn and determined address to his party's annual conference, Starmer opened with a stark message. We can all see that the country faces a choice, a defining choice. Britain stands at a fork in the road. The Prime Minister framed the choice not as a matter of partisan politics, but as a struggle for the very soul of the nation. We can choose decency or we can choose division, renewal or decline, he said, calling on Britons to reject cynicism and embrace collective purpose. For him, the stakes are as high as they were in the country's post-war rebuilding. It is a test, a fight for the soul of our country, every bit as big as rebuilding Britain after the war. And we must all rise to this challenge, Starmer went on to describe what he called the path of renewal, a demanding but hopeful road that he argued offers the only true route to national progress. Yet we need to be clear that our path, the path of renewal, it's long, it's difficult. It requires decisions that are not cost-free or easy, decisions that will not always be comfortable for our party, he told the audience. He acknowledged the political and economic difficulties ahead, but insisted that perseverance would deliver a transformed country. Yet, at the end of this hard road, there will be a new country, a fairer country, a land of dignity and respect. Everyone seen, everyone valued, wealth creation in every single community, working people in control of their public services, he declared. The Prime Minister promised to dismantle the mindless bureaucracy that chokes enterprise, vowing to create an environment where innovation and hard work can thrive. He envisioned clean British energy powering our homes, technology harnessed to drive us forward, our flags flying proudly as we celebrate difference and oppose racism. Starmer painted a vivid picture of a nation reconnected with its core ideals, fairness, respect and opportunity. He described this as nothing short of restoring a lost sense of hope, the basic, ordinary hope of a better future for our children, restored for millions, and through that, a Britain that has rediscovered the belief, the togetherness, the pride to take control of its future. That's what we're building. That's national renewal, a Britain built for all. But his speech was not limited to promises of a better tomorrow. Starmer warned of an alternative, a path of decline that he argued is both dangerous and deceptively appealing. But there is another path. We can call it the path of decline, but in truth it leads to ruin, to chaos, to Britain being poorer in every sense, he cautioned. This path, he said, is seductive because it demands nothing of the people. It asks nothing of people, makes no demands, suggests no difficulties. All you need to do is listen to politicians who tell you there's a quick fix, a miracle cure, tax cuts that magically pay for themselves, a wealth tax that somehow solves every problem. The Brexit lies on the side of that bus. Click here for your new country. The Prime Minister issued a sharp warning against what he described as the politics of grievance. We can all see these snake oil merchants on the right, on the left, but be in no doubt, none of them have any interest in national renewal because decline is good for their business, he said. Starmer's criticism turned especially pointed as he singled out Nigel Farage, accusing him of undermining the country's confidence in itself. Think about it. When was the last time that you heard Nigel Farage say anything positive about Britain's future? He asked. Answering his own question, he added, he can't. He doesn't like Britain, doesn't believe in Britain, wants you to doubt it just as much as he does. The Prime Minister accused Farage and others like him of trying to divide the nation. They want to turn this country, this proud, self-reliant country, into a competition of victims, saying to working people, don't trust in each other, you can't fix this, this is not a great country, he said. Rejecting that narrative outright, Starmer declared, but it is a great country. It will always be a great country, a decent, pragmatic, tolerant, reasonable country that throughout history has stood its ground, stuck by its values and built its future without fuss. Starmer described his mission as more than just political leadership. It was, in his words, a moral responsibility to defend and renew the nation's values. That's the Britain I'm fighting for. A nation of resolve, a land of respect, a Britain built for all, he told the gathering. His vision of renewal included practical measures, from breaking down bureaucratic barriers that stifle local enterprise to expanding clean energy and investing in modern technology to power growth. But the vision also had an emotional and cultural dimension, restoring unity and faith in the country's collective strength. Starmer reminded the audience that national renewal was not a quick fix, but a long-term mission that required resilience. He described the transformation he seeks as building a new country, a fairer country, a land of dignity and respect. To achieve that, he argued, Britain must reject easy promises and instead embrace responsibility and cooperation. He noted that rebuilding national pride meant reaffirming Britain's historic character, a pragmatic, resilient and values-driven society. The Prime Minister also addressed international issues, recognising that Britain's place in the world is linked to its domestic renewal. He expressed his backing for global peace initiatives, particularly in the Middle East. I welcome the new US initiative to bring peace to the Middle East. I strongly support efforts to end the fighting, he said. His statement reflected a commitment to aligning Britain's interests with broader global stability, suggesting that a stronger and more confident Britain could play a constructive role on the world stage. Starmer concluded by emphasising the gravity of the moment Britain faces. He described the coming years as a test of the nation's character and resolve, calling on citizens to choose the harder but ultimately more rewarding path. For Starmer, the choice between renewal and decline is not abstract. It touches on the daily lives of ordinary people, their hopes, their dignity, and their future opportunities. He argued that only by investing in fairness, opportunity, and collective effort can the country truly move forward. At the end of this hard road, he reminded his audience there will be a new country, a fairer country, a land of dignity and respect. This was a speech that sought to draw a line between two competing visions of Britain's future. On one side, a path of shared effort and national pride, a road that may be long and hard but promises renewal. On the other, a path that trades short-term promises for long-term decline, a course Starmer described as undermining Britain's best traditions. In doing so, Starmer positioned himself as a leader calling for collective resolve, not just for policy reforms, but for a reawakening of Britain's core values, decency, pragmatism and unity. By portraying this moment as a fight for the soul of our country, he framed the political debate as an existential one for the nation's future. Starmer's appeal, delivered with conviction and urgency, underscored his belief that Britain's greatness lies not in nostalgia for the past, but in the collective determination to build a better future. Whether the nation embraces his vision of renewal or succumbs to the temptation of decline will, in his view, define the coming era. His words left the conference with a sense of both challenge and hope, capturing the essence of a country at a pivotal crossroads, ready to reclaim its spirit if it chooses to take the harder, nobler path.